I'll get the GPS because I don't.
You can see the Iceland Air 767 in the background there. Again, welcome back to everyone. We have a United E319, first over to our right. Very interesting, folks. Actually taxiing down runway 10 center, 28 center from where he's coming from, we have a 747, so that's definitely the reason why this Airbus A319 is waiting. Or I guess he's not waiting. Air 747 will be departing soon. Can't tell you the last time I saw a 747 or any aircraft back taxi on a runway here at O'Hare. That's a first. This will be departs runway 10 left. where this 747 is headed. It is headed to Hong Kong. So very, very far flight, 7,790 miles. Very much expect him to depart full length on 10 left. We hope that he's cleared to depart 10 left. This aircraft, 22 years of age. We watched her arrive a few moments ago here on XLRS Live. Looks like he's crossed over 10 center, well, he back taxied 10 center and taxied across runway 10 left. He'll be departing, it looks like 9 right. Got a couple other aircraft taxiing behind here. Robbie saying hello and Bada, I may have mispronounced that. Bada Kadem saying yay to our welcome back message. Yes, welcome back to everyone. We appreciate any of you tuning back in here. Another aircraft taxiing here. It's like a 4th of July parade of American-made planes. We've all had Boeing and Embraer, which is fun. You can see United 787 that arrived a few moments ago on runway 9 center, and if we come over to the central de-icing pad, you can see several more aircraft than you saw before, and in the background there are 6 parked wing to wing. You can see 3 Embraer 170s operated by Envoy and or American Eagle, and then 1 operated by American and 1 by Frontier. All of those aircraft arrived and are not able to access their gates yet due to other aircraft that are currently here. Robbie wishing everyone a happy Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in. The American Eagle retro livery that arrived a few moments ago on runway 10 right. Will be taxiing next to us here. This aircraft registered November 760 Mike, Quebec, delivered 17 years ago to Envoy Air, that it still flies for today. Looks like that aircraft most likely waiting for a gate assignment. Now one of more than a dozen aircraft waiting to find their gate. moving, it's either gotten a taxi clearance to park in a certain spot, or it's gotten its gate assignment now. If we look over several aircraft, the American Eagle, Embraer 170, now one of them, going over to park. And the north side of the airfield is quite chaotic right now, with aircraft that have arrived and are waiting to get to their gate. We now have 3 aircraft, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, being SkyWest 4776, 5606, and United Airlines Flight 2141 taxiing to our right now. Look over, you can see several aircraft lined up to our north. Those 2 E175s, 319, and another 319 coming will all continue that line. Upwards of a dozen to 2 dozen aircraft now waiting to get their gates, because they've arrived early from their destination and their gate is not yet open. Well, very interestingly, we have an aircraft that's on Taxiway Papa in between runways 10 left and 10 right. It's headed off to Washington Reagan, but was told to stop in between the runways as opposed to taxi onto one and take off. Very interesting. I'm trying to tell what is just above the nose cone on that. It looks to be the Airbus A320. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Got more aircraft taxiing next to us here. Departing 737 on runway 10 left. Go back to this Airbus A320. Very interesting. Some numbers for you guys. Some aircraft that have arrived here. One example, Envoy Air Flight 3808 from White Plains. Yeah, from White Plains, New York. Actually arrived 43 minutes ago and is currently holding on the main de-icing bridge. I'm sure it's a pretty hot cabin. It's still quite warm out here, but some of those aircraft haven't seen on the ground for nearly an hour waiting and don't even have a gate assignment yet. And that aircraft coming in from White Plains only arrived 10 minutes early. And due to the vast number of aircraft out on the airfield, the departure delay with no weather whatsoever is currently 32 minutes on average. And just popped up on the map, United Airlines Flight 118. We actually met with one of the pilots of that flight, just pushing back. We'll be headed off to Edinburgh. We'll do our best to capture that. Still staying on this United Airbus A320 that looks to have both engines on, just waiting to depart to Washington Reagan Airport. Was supposed to depart now 40 minutes ago. It's been sitting in that one location for about 25 to 30 minutes. Another 737 here. Waiting to get clearance to cross runway 10 center and 10 left. Chicago flights tuning in saying good to see you guys streaming. Yeah, we're doing our best. We had a couple of connection issues. Issues, but on our second attempted streaming, we are doing quite well. So thank you so much for tuning in, Chicago Flights. We love the streams that you have here at O'Hare. A number of other aircraft landing on runway 10 right and making their way back around this way, taxiing most of them up to the central de-icing area before waiting for their gate assignment. One of those being this United Express Embraer 175. Like it's making a right as opposed to going straight. It'll be interesting to see where that aircraft is going. And finally, we have this Airbus A320 that's been waiting to depart to Washington Reagan moving. Signature sound of happy hour post 5 o'clock on a Friday. back to our lineup of aircraft over here. We now have aircraft in both directions on the central de-icing, from right to left, or let's go left to right. From left to right, we have a United Express Embraer 175, a United Express CRJ200, an American Eagle Retro Embraer 170, then the nose of a Frontier A320neo, then the back of a United 757, then an aircraft that didn't arrive or depart today. We have a former FedEx 727, then an Embraer 170 operated by American Eagle, another Embraer 170 operated by American Eagle, and then a Piedmont Embraer 145. So just on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not including the 727. On the other side, that makes 16, with another 5 or so aircraft parked in different locations. So over 20 aircraft waiting to get their gate assignment, and another 20 in line for takeoff. All right, this is only comical because we're seeing it here, but it can't be enjoyable for the passengers. This aircraft to our right, a United Express Embraer 175, landed on runway 10 right some 20 minutes ago. Then it taxied around, took a right down there, then did a 180 and is now taxiing back again. That aircraft, SkyWest Airlines Flight 5675, arrived from Asheville, Tennessee. Badha Kadem asking if we can zoom into Terminal 5, saying that he has good memories flying into O'Hare from Terminal 5. Of course, yeah, let's do that. Zoom in toward Terminal 5, our international terminal at O'Hare, for those that don't know. Got a great lineup of aircraft in there from left to right. A United, looks to be 737 MAX, an American, SAS, Turkish, Icelandair, Swiss, Qatar, 2 United aircraft, and 2 Southwest aircraft. So lots of aircraft down at Terminal 5. Also lots of renovations going on at Terminal 5. Those have been going on since mid to late 2021. American Eagle Envoy Air Flight 3808 that now has arrived 55 minutes ago, still stopped at the central de-icing hub. Some other aircraft, that American Eagle Retro livery from 26 minutes ago, waiting for its gate assignment still. SkyWest Airlines Flight 5305 now arrived 31 minutes ago, waiting for its gate assignment. What's going to happen with this Envoy Air Embraer or this American 737 behind it. All right, so he's made a right, now making a left. And we can hear the Purdue University livery of Southern Airways Express on their Cessna 208 Grand Caravan. This aircraft painted in this special livery to celebrate the first new service to Lafayette, Indiana, with the Cessna 208 a few weeks ago. You can see registered November 958 Sierra Papa. Entirely sure what he's waiting for, seeing as there's no one expected on runway 10 center. Flexport in the background with this American Eagle in the foreground of the shot. That American Eagle arrived 7 minutes ago. Republic Airways flight 4343. Some good news for our friends on the American Eagle retro livery. Looks like they are moving now to our north after just about 30 minutes on the ground. It's a good shot to see just how busy O'Hare is with those aircraft parked to our north. Badak Kadam giving us a $5 super chat, thanking us for looking at Terminal 5. Well, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. Again, so much for the super chat as we're looking at a very busy O'Hare Airport. You can see those aircraft in frame there coming straight toward you arrived 23, 43, and 46 minutes ago respectively, as Flexport is now cleared to cross runway 10 center, 28 center. Lots of action, a lot of taxiing going on here. Looks like that American Eagle is going to go behind the other American Eagle with the flex port down in the background. It's like he's choosing not to back taxi 10 center as they've done before. We had a 747 going to Hong Kong a few moments ago that back taxied all the way up runway 10 center coming from the east, so it would be taxiing down to 8 center. And in simple terms, O'Hare is just overloaded with the number of aircraft coming in that they can't necessarily handle with all the gates that they have, the aircraft arriving. See all of these aircraft, some taxiing. You have that flex port on your left with also a UPS 767 in the background with 2 Republic Embraer 175s. Those Embraers sitting on respectively Quebec 1 and holding short of Quebec 1 on Quebec. With that 747 taxiing pop-up and that UPS 767 in the background taxiing Sierra 1 Sierra Romeo Romeo Foxtrot pop-up. Like one of our Republic Airways now giving clearance to taxi. Asking if the pilots can see the camera. They may be able to see it from far away, but in the grand scheme of things, with the size of this hill and the size of the planes, we probably look like ants to them from how far away we are. So he's cleared to taxi as a Republic Embraer 175 comes behind him, but we also have the GoJet CRJ and the other Republic Embraer 175. And then Flexport and UPS are waiting as well. And the best explanation for why these aircraft are going to a certain spot and not taxiing any further is that in aviation there's an unwritten law that if you're given a taxi clearance and, for example, that taxi clearance tells you to hold short of a certain area, you are required to, and I will show you here, you can see just in front of the Republic, you see those black and yellow lines, those are the hold short lines. So those lines, that's the ILS hold short line, but the hold short lines, you are required to stay behind until you have clearance to either cross or enter onto a runway. A lot of these planes are out of luck in terms of taxiing. You have the GoJet CRJ currently holding short of Zulu on Quebec. Oh, this sounds like the Republic is cleared to taxi. Currently on Zulu. The Republic is still told to hold short of runway 10 center. Have a great flight over to Edinburgh. Apologies, that is not the flight to Edinburgh. That flight is actually still waiting to taxi from the B gates. Flexport taxiing a little bit now, and we have the United retro livery also visible. Flexport now taxiing onto runway 10 left to depart. Departing to Anchorage is flight 8469. Whoa, folks, we gotta go around on 9 left. Unknown reason for the go around. Currently climbing at 2,200 feet. Coming in from Seattle, that's American Airlines flight 2359. Looks like Flexport's been cleared to take off runway 10 left. The wake turbulence, they're probably going to ask that 747 to turn once he's climbed to a certain altitude, and then the 767 going to Detroit to wait a moment. Looks like the next arrival on 9 left was able to Touchdown safely, which is good. 767 now clear to take off. 10 left. Now the United Retro that fled from Seattle that went around a moment ago took a very interesting track in here. It headed basically straight east before turning south around Woodstock, and then was based for quite a while before over Elgin, turning left to go around on runway 9 left. Let's hope that aircraft comes back around and lands safely on its second attempt. Departing runway 10 left. As we have an American Eagle. Going to turn right on Zulu here, most likely. Johnstone commenting, saying, when I first flew on a 175, I thought it looked like a 737. At first glance, I can see that as well. It does have some of the resemblance of a 787, that's for sure. You can see this heavy 787. You can see Airways. Airways going to be going to. So they're going to be going to Athens, Greece. So hopefully we'll get some nice sound from those GE NX engines as it departs 10 left. Headed off to Athens, Greece. Boeing 787 is going to be departing full length on 10 left. That aircraft that we saw do the go-round a few moments ago on runway 9 left, now once again lined up for 9 left for its second attempt. At 787 now, turning left, about to be cleared for takeoff on 10 left. Gets a rolling start, 13,000 feet of usable runway. I'm sure we won't need just that much. That heavy lifts off, we have a couple other aircraft that will be departing full length. We have an American A319 and a United 737. And that aircraft that did the go-around a few moments ago, now about to make a successful landing on 9 left. First aircraft departing full length, American Airlines Flight 2779 headed to Atlanta, an Airbus 319, 24 years of age, followed by American Airlines Flight 1941 headed to Philadelphia, 737-800, 9 years of age. Brandon saying, so good to see you both in Chicago flights covering ORD. Do you have plans for nighttime streams? Those are good to watch. Well, we will be staying on the air for as long as we can, for a couple hours or so here, catching the nighttime action. And in terms of future nighttime streams, we will keep you guys posted on when those may be. And Martha is saying, thanks for streaming. Wow, that's a beauty. Yeah, with the golden hour light that we currently have, all the planes are looking about as best as they can, with that light coming from our left, from the west, as the sun sets and nighttime comes to Chicago. It's got the Air Wisconsin retro livery CRJ 200. We have a 757 and Airbus A321 following this Embraer 175. Those aircraft just arrived a few moments ago. One from none other than the world's busiest airport, Atlanta, and the second one from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of my personal favorite airplanes. Look at that incredible light it's got here. You can just hear some of the sounds of the planes in the background, combined with some birds chirping and a little bit of wind. Wind has definitely calmed down now, just at just 6 knots. see a China Southern Boeing 777 in the background there. That aircraft is going to be headed to Shenzhen, China. Over 7,700 miles. The estimated flight time is nearly 15 hours. can see the line of departures there, a Spirit and then an American Eagle. Embraer 175 with the O'Hare Hilton in the background and the control tower for Terminal 2. Better known as the ramp tower, that is. You can hear some birds chirping in the background. There's a good number of aircraft lined up to take off. That Spirit going a little bit further down. Might end up going full length. That would be a nice surprise. It looks like that Spirit going to LaGuardia. Also a beautiful view of a Viva Aerobus, Airbus A320neo with a Air Wisconsin retro livery. Still got that Viva Aerobus over there. Airbus A320neo, 7 years of age, arrived from Guadalajara, Mexico as Flight 544 10 minutes ago. Has not yet received a gate assignment, and that's the reason why it's hanging out in its current location. Heavy arrival will be FedEx Flight 707 and coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana. Flight 707, but on a 767, a 300 freighter, built as a freighter, delivered new in July of 2021 to Federal Express. We have a United 737 MAX making some good noise in the Continental livery. Arrived in from San Juan, Puerto Rico just 8 minutes ago. Runway 10 right. We'll go over to that heavy 767 arriving on runway 9 center. Shoe saying a very crazy busy night at O'Hare. Indeed it is. Tons of traffic coming in and out, part of the summer rush here around golden hour. FedEx will be taxiing over to park right next to us, so we should get some good views and good sounds from those CF6 engines. You can see a Coletta Air 747 that arrived on 9 center. Currently holding short of that runway. Crossing it now. Going to be taxiing over to Northeast Cargo. a lot Polish Airlines there. That aircraft arrived 8 minutes ago from Warsaw, Poland, going to Terminal 5, but its gate is yet to be determined. O'Hare is now switched over to landing runway 9 center and 9 left. No arrivals currently going on in the southern portion of the airport, but we have plenty of departures. As you can see, a Viva Aerobus, Airbus A321neo, a Southwest 737-700, and another Southwest 737-700. Those aircraft going to Phoenix, Arizona, Dallas Love Field in Texas, and Monterrey, Mexico, respectively. If you guys are enjoying the action, it's your first time, we'd love if you could subscribe. We'll have these streams continuing for the next couple weeks, and we'll have regular videos going out at 6 p.m. Central Time every Monday. And we have lots of spotting content from around the world. We had a recent trip to Europe, so we'll have several videos coming out from there. We'll also be heading up to Oshkosh in the next 2 to 3 weeks, capturing some fantastic video from up there, and that will be posted over the next few months as well. So there's a lot to tune into. So if it's your first time and you have not that may be curious, we'd love to stream from Oshkosh, but unfortunately that is not allowed. Oshkosh, or EAA themselves, the Experimental Aircraft Association, has licensed people who stream live the air shows each day and the night air shows on Wednesday and Saturday, but unfortunately it is prohibited for any attendees to live stream themselves. But we will be capturing lots of photo and video. We're on Instagram at XLRSAviation. We are on Twitter/X at Aviation_XLRS. And of course, we are here on YouTube as XLRSAviation. Get a double shot of 2 Viva Aerobuses, and Airbus A320neo and 321neo. That 321 headed to Monterrey, Mexico, and that 320 arrived from Guadalajara approximately 20 minutes ago. You can get a beautiful shot of downtown Chicago as well. See on the right the former Sears Tower, now Willis Tower. The tallest building in Chicago, over 1,100 feet in height. Apologies for that Viva Aerobus. Though it looks like a Neo variant, it is not. But it has that same sort of raccoon glasses that they love to put on some of the Neos. United could have ordered the raccoon face or glasses on their Airbus A321 Neos, but they chose not to. Coming. You can see a Swiss 777 there. Departing off to Zurich, Switzerland. Approximate flight time around 8 hours. 8 hours 10 possibly, depending on headwinds. And I hear the familiar sound of a CF6 engine as we have a 767 coming toward us that landed a few minutes ago. O'Hare currently operating with parallel approaches on runways 9 center and 9 left. .767 currently taxiing Zulu, the westernmost taxiway at O'Hare. They'll be taxiing down toward us on Zulu, and then either taxiing left Papa or continuing Zulu, Quebec 1, and possibly Bravo Bravo before making its way into the southwest cargo ring. Like he's holding short of runways 10 left or runway 10 left currently. As you can see also he's shut down his right engine, just taxiing with the left engine. I'm sure that could be a bit of a challenge if you were taxiing any quicker, because you might have to work with a lot of opposite aileron and rudder since you'd have so much thrust coming from only one side of the plane. Jesse Cole McGowan commenting, I'm coming to Chicago September 21st. I'm planning on spotting at O'Hare on the 22nd. What's the best spot? I will elaborate just after the 767 taxis. If you're ever interested, you see in between the E and the X, there's actually an arrow that forms, and FedEx purposely made the logo like that. So it shows that they keep moving forward, part of their motto. going back to answering your question, Jesse, the best spot would probably be here, the southwest hill. This area, you are the least likely to get bothered by police or airport personnel. Unfortunately, there's no area at O'Hare that's completely safe from having airport personnel or police come to check to see what you're doing, but this is the best location, and it also has the best visibility. Zooming all the way out here, you can see there's a great view of the terminals, the central tower, and it's basically a panoramic view from the southwest of O'Hare of the entire airfield. Another location that is good in addition to this southwest hill is a location just to our east, better known as Delta Cargo. Zooming in here, you can see the fences, and down access road there's a parking lot where you can watch from, and also a concrete barrier. So that's another good location. So you have the southwest hill, you have Delta Cargo. There's a place more toward the east known as Canada Cargo. There's a hill where you can spot from that is also right behind this South Cargo building. You can get back on Irving Park Road. And those are some of the best locations. There are a couple other locations, for example, on this more northerly hill that allows for great views when you are streaming or taking photos or video, especially for when in west flow. You can get departures from runway 28 right and a fantastic view. Also, taxiways, it is closest to Taxiway Zulu, where this 747 is taxiing on currently. So that's also a good location. So most of the areas, or actually all of the areas that are the safest to plane spot at, are on the south and or southwestern portion of the airport. Of course, all outside the fences. But those are some of the best areas. And if you have any other questions, you can email us. We have our email in our YouTube about description. You may email us or reach out on social media via direct messages on Instagram and or Twitter X if you have any other questions. See this Cargolux 747. Looks as if he might be departing maybe to Luxembourg off of 10 left. That would be great sound from those GE NX engines. Yeah, so some information about that Cargolux flight. Flight 6426 headed to Luxembourg, a 747-8. Delivered as a freighter 10 years ago to Cargolux, is registered Lima X-Ray Victor Charlie Juliet. You can see also this one has a certain decal on it. Currently have all engines ready. The GENX engine capable of over 100,000 pounds of thrust. The rating for the British Airways 777-200. Now rolling down 10 left to depart, and then they will be cleared onto the runway. We'll probably wait a few moments to avoid wake turbulence, and then they will depart. That beautiful golden hour light on the 747. As the 777's just lifted off 10 left, he should be cleared after an Embraer 170, 175 departs 10 left. So just a couple moments before we hear these GENX engines spool up on the Cargolux 747. Hear them. I can almost hear them getting clearance to taxi onto 10 left, and indeed they are. They got clearance now. Most likely a lineup await clearance, but if not, I'll leave it up to these GENX engines to give you guys some great sound as this aircraft departs on its way to Luxembourg. See a little bit of brake smoke, brake dust there. And some technique that many people might not understand, why this CRJ 200 is departing behind or departing full length from 13,000 feet, and that's because to avoid the wake turbulence, since wake turbulence goes outward, downward, and from each of the wingtips, and that 747 was heavy, clean, and slow, it's developing as much wake turbulence and wingtip vortices as strong as possible. So the CRJ-200, to avoid those vortices and also to climb smoothly, is going to depart from full length so that it gets up into the air and climbs. Notice a decent amount of smoke coming from that CRJ as well. So that CRJ-200 most definitely above the departure path of that 747. You can see it far out in the distance, trying to keep them both in frame. CRJ-200 also turning to the right, as we have an E175 clear for takeoff on 10 left. Now a very calm time here at O'Hare, and look at this beautiful sunset to our west. Oh wow, let's see if this aircraft goes right in front. That would be a heck of a beautiful shot. Let's see. It's gonna. It's just beautiful, folks. Mark Johnston mentioning that the engine seemed quieter. Yeah, the engines on at least on the 747-8 are very high bypass turbofan engines. They're much larger than that of the 747-400, the previous variant of the 747. So they were made so that they would be quieter, and with noise abatement being a #1 priority in terms of airports, and keeping residents around those airports happy is through quieter planes and such, and that's present with the A321 and all the Neos as well. Watch this one pass by the sun as well. And Bata saying stunning. Yeah, indeed it is. It's all of these aircraft passing in front of the sun is just beautiful. And on aircraft that we're hoping to arrive, well, we'll definitely have a view on it, but now just 9 minutes out is Lufthansa Flight 432 and Airbus A340-300 arriving in from Frankfurt. This aircraft departed 8 hours and 26 minutes ago, now descending at 9,000 feet, about 8,400 feet, since we are 600 feet above sea level here. Looks like that sun might go behind the clouds. Maybe we can get one or two more aircraft to go in front of it. Looks like that 0J will go above it. Let's see about the Airbus 320. Looks as if this Lufthansa might come to the southern runway, folks. That would be a treat. Coming over, you can see the 320, and I said CRJ. It was an Embraer 175. Air Canada in the distance. Of a Coletta Air 747. See if we can get a visual on our Lufthansa Airbus A340. Well, it's up there. It's up there. I can see it. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't quite want to capture it, but that's all right. Let's take a look at the skyline. Oh, this is actually almost even more beautiful than before. We'll go to the skyline in just a moment. Look at this sun now behind the clouds, folks. Those dueling arrival patterns, parallel I should say. Still 65 of you tuned in. Thank you very much to each and every one of you who's still here supporting. We appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for coming to enjoy some beautiful aviation here on Friday night happy hour. Looks like Qatar Airways flight 726 at 777-300 will be departing full length on 10 left here, so we should have some nice sound from those General Electric GE90 engines. Some of the most powerful engines. Fun fact, the GE90 is actually the same width and height of the 737 fuselage, so there's something for reference how large the 777 engine actually is. Cody saying, very beautiful sunset. Last time I saw that person was 2011 in Florida. Yeah, sunsets are hard to beat. The end of the day, nighttime approaching, and what better way to complement that than with some plane spotting. Just before our Qatar Airways turns on to runway 10 left. Let's go back to our sunset for one more moment. You can see the sun popping out below that cloud now. Well, Qatar now moving. We'll go back to that departure. This is one of these 777-300 engines, GE90s. Should be great sound. He departs. We have two aircraft departing full length to get above his flight path and avoid the wake turbulence, that being an American Eagle Embraer. And then American Eagle Envoy Air Flight 3517 headed to Jacksonville, Florida, and United Airlines Flight 1776 headed to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ooh, the flight to Jacksonville, over 100 minutes late. Spooling up now. pretty smoky. Let's get a zoom in on that for a second. Going back to this beautiful sunset to our west. Now our view count reaching nearly 100 viewers. Thank you to everyone for tuning in here on this Friday evening happy hour. We appreciate each and every one of you coming to support XLRS Aviation. Got that beautiful sunset. United 757, an American 737, and then Lufthansa Airlines, Lufthansa Flight 432 and Airbus A330 arriving in from Frankfurt. Those are our next 3 arrivals. .757 from Las Vegas. More parallel approaches going on here with runway 9 left and 9 center. SA saw Ferguson asking how many different airline carriers fly in and out of O'Hare International, Qatar, American, United, etc. Well, currently O'Hare serves 46 countries and 252 airports worldwide. In terms of different airlines, I'm going to have to fact check myself on that. We have the Lufthansa Airbus A340 that we'll get, and then I will answer that question of the number of airlines that fly in and out of O'Hare. Look at that shot, folks. That's beautiful, isn't it? Now, currently 96 viewers, approaching 100. Let's see how many people we can have come on for some beautiful post-sunset nighttime spotting. We will be here for a little while longer, so let's see how many people can come in. And now we have 103 viewers. We've reached over 100 viewers. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you who are on here. A couple other comments saying quad jet, and Lefty Queen saying Lefty bringing the quad. S.A. Ferguson saying looking good on my 65-inch TV, amazing sunset. Yes, the sunset, well, a lot of things look better on a 65-inch TV, so I'm sure the sunset does too. And current conditions here, still 81 degrees Fahrenheit, so a decent amount of heat still present here at O'Hare. Looking over at a couple aircraft here. This is a former FedEx Boeing 727. I believe the name was Felicia. Let's see, trying to answer that question about how many airlines fly out of O'Hare. Well, for some information, United serves 122 destinations, so there's something. Currently, 47 airlines fly to 249 destinations out of O'Hare. And for any of you wondering, O'Hare does serve, of course, the United States, Asia, South America, and Europe, but also in the future it will be serving Australia with Qantas. Qantas originally planned in 2020, or originally planned in 2017 for 2020, flying their 747 and later Airbus A350 to O'Hare, but unfortunately COVID stopped that possible idea, and with delays in Airbus A350 deliveries, they're not getting those until 2027. So 2027 is when hopefully the United States, and specifically Chicago and Perth, Australia, will be connected with a long-range version of the Airbus A350-1000 operated by Qantas. Flight time is expected to be over 20 hours, possibly 21 hours or longer. So it'll be definitely a long flight, quite an experience, reaching for 10,000 miles. That's a possibility depending on, the curvature of the Earth and the way that the flights go. It could take as long as 21 hours and be as far as 10,000 miles. S.A. Ferguson asking, what airline is that in the background? Well, we have, with this 727, zooming out a little bit, you can see we have a Frontier Airbus A320, and behind that is a Spirit Airbus A320 series as well. So you can see the Frontier might be operating as a charter, or they might have personnel on there doing maintenance. Let's see what livery that is, because Spirit has a fantastic line of special liveries. Every aircraft that they have is indeed in a special livery. It used to not be that way. They had Airbus A320s and 321s, which they still do, but now every aircraft that they have is with a special livery, and that one specifically is an Airbus A320neo, 6 years of age, and It is in the Chew the Pika livery. So, interesting. Something I probably would not have guessed. It's hard to tell exactly. Looks like a Pika is similar to maybe a mouse. Some information about pikas. They are small herbivorous mammals that live in the mountains of western North America. They're related to rabbits and hares and are known for being vocal by chirping and singing when they're in danger. So there's some information about them. Their lifespan is usually 3 to 7 years, and as you can see by the color on the tail, they are usually grayish brown. And where exactly in western North America? Usually in the mountains west, in the cool mountains, west of the Rocky Mountains, some of them living over a mile up in the air. Coming over, you can see some aircraft lining up to take off runway 10 left with the Hilton in the background. You can see some aircraft taking off 9 right as well. That's a 737-700 operated by United departing there. You can see a couple aircraft, that Lufthansa Airbus A340 that we saw a moment ago, currently taxiing behind these aircraft. The Airbus A340 is outfitted with 4 engines that the Airbus A320 uses. So it's often known, or often called, 4 hair dryers on a plane, because, well, that's kind of what it looks like, and sometimes it can be underpowered and struggles to take off depending on density, altitude, and location. Coming over, we have an EVA Air Boeing 777 coming in from Taipei, Taiwan. Air touchdown right in front of the American maintenance hangar. Fun fact, if we come back to the American maintenance hangar, you can see there's hangar 1 and hangar 2. Hangar 2 is actually the world's largest drive-through hangar. And fun enough, we actually got a tour through it early last year. And if you check on our channel, we have some content from inside that hangar. Beautiful hangar, originally built for DC-7s and DC-6s that American had, and later for their 747s. Going over to a departing SAS A330 headed off to Copenhagen. Go making his turn already. As he banks out of view, coming back to our main terminal. Let's take a look at our international terminal. What airlines have left and what airlines still wait to leave? Well, we can see Iceland Air over there. It would be great if they departed here on runway 10 left, which it looks like they might be doing. It looks like they're taxiing south. Otherwise, they would be taxiing to the north and making their way over. So we can cross our fingers that they depart 10 left. This is the first time that any of us here at XLRS have personally seen the Icelandair 767. It's flown in and out of mostly East Coast U.S. cities. It regularly flies in and out of Boston Logan, New York JFK, and Newark Airport, I believe, and also Washington Dulles. Those are the main the airports that see the Icelandair 767 on a regular basis. We have not been seeing it, but with the increase in passenger numbers and demand for flights to and from Iceland, Icelandair since the spring has switched from the 737 MAX 9 in their different highlighter liveries. As you can see, the little blue highlighter on the tail of this Icelandair 767, but all of their 737 MAXs have highlighter liveries. So those were flying in the fall and spring, into the spring, and then they flew the 757 and now the 767 for a few months due to increased demand. That's 767. To get a better view on it. Interestingly, it does not show that it has its ADS-B on, but we can go over quite a long taxi this Lufthansa Airbus A340 has had. They landed now 11 minutes ago. Maybe it just seems a little bit longer with us standing here, but still, you know, if in the logistical point of view, as the Icelandair passes behind it, in a logistical point of view, if 10 Center had been open, then Lufthansa probably could have cut that taxi time down to, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, because with the way that they're taxiing and with the traffic that they have ahead, it's very likely they won't be to the terminal and docked in for another 10 to 15 minutes. See two aircraft now, a Spirit and a United, or Republic should I say, Republic SkyWest. Not the same thing. Republic and SkyWest are two regional subsidiaries of United. Republic operates E175s for United, and then you have Envoy for American Eagle. And then you have SkyWest, that is a regional subsidiary operating E175s for American, Delta, and United. Still see that Lufthansa Airbus A340 and Turkish flight 6 now will be departing back to Istanbul. Coming back, we see an American 737. Some information on this one. That American 737 arrived from Tampa, Florida 8 minutes ago. Currently awaiting well, it's got a gate assignment. It's Hotel 18 H18. but it is still waiting for that gate to open. And what just caught my eye is we have American Eagle Flight 3634, which is in the retro livery, and Embraer 170 standard. We saw that retro livery arrive and taxi around most of the square footage of the airport. And now it's departing on its way to Baltimore, Maryland. See over to our north, Eva Air Boeing 777 arrived a few moments ago from Taipei, Taiwan. Taxiing in front of the American hangar. Some information about that aircraft. Flight time of 12 hours and 50 minutes as the Iceland Air passes behind it. 12 hours and 50 minutes to cross the 7,500 miles from Taipei, Taiwan here. It departed, believe it or not, because of the time difference, at 8:50 p.m. Taipei time and landed at 8:32 our time. Since the time difference is so great, it was actually only in the air for 20 minutes in terms of the time clock since it crossed the international date line, which is kind of funny if you think about it. 20-minute flight, 7,000 miles. Really appreciate all of you tuning in, looking through a couple comments. Singapore to JFK and JFK to Singapore is the longest flight, roughly 18 to 20 hours with no stopovers. Yeah, that's quite a long flight. I'm not sure I would be able to, keep myself engaged for such a long time on one flight. Then some other people saying, and with new paint scheme, no less. I've seen the Icelander 737 in Detroit Metro. Yeah, we've seen the 737 a couple times, and I believe Detroit is getting the 767 now, which is good news. Cody's saying, I live at crossroads to all directions of planes. I get roughly 1,000 a day, Eastern New York, Albany area. My goodness, that's a lot of planes to see in a day. Got more parallel arrivals. S.A. Ferguson asking, do airlines do special paint schemes for certain flight destinations or certain planes? Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of airlines that do special liveries for certain locations or new destinations. Sometimes they do. I've seen them do that before, but unfortunately, it's not very common for that to occur. We can see the Iceland Air 767 now lined up for runway 9 right, departing off to Reykjavik, Iceland. Just about to get clearance. There goes that Iceland Air. Back to Reykjavik. I saw behind it a moment ago. If we come over to look, we can see FedEx 767 that arrived a few moments ago. There it is. That aircraft, we need to get clearance. He's going to be taxiing. You can see Ozinga in the background, cement company. That FedEx 767 will be taxiing, looks to be on Zulu. Looks to be on Zulu. That aircraft will be taxiing all the way down here to the southwest cargo area. Again, we thank you all for tuning in to this XLRS live happy hour here on Friday, July 12th. We appreciate each and every one of you who have tuned in. And we're nowhere near done. We've still got some time, some great planes, and some incredible camaraderie here on the hill at O'Hare. We're currently the only spotters, at least that I can see, who are spotting. We can see that FedEx taxiing Zulu now, or not quite Zulu yet. Let's see what it's on right now. So it is currently on Juliet. Might take a right on Uniform. Yep, Juliet Uniform. It'll taxi Zulu all the way south here, and then most likely with some of the other aircraft, they've been taking a left on Papa, then taxiing Bravo to the southwest cargo ramp. But there's a possibility that this one taxis Zulu Quebec, or Zulu Quebec Bravo, or Zulu 1. Into the southwest cargo. So there are a couple different possibilities. We're going to go over to a heavy 787 arriving real quick. Back to our 767 there. Lefty Queen answering a great question. Oh yes, yep. They have special liveries. Yeah, exactly. ANA has fancy Star Wars liveries. Yes, they do. They had a BB-8 livery that we caught, and unfortunately that aircraft has gone to the scrapper. It reached 16 years of age and went to the scrapper in San Bernardino, California. That was the BB-8 livery. Now they have the R2-D2 livery. They have the R2-D2 livery, and also, turtle liveries. I believe they have 3 Airbus A380s in special turtle liveries, blue, green, and orange is what I want to say for the colors of those. We'll go back to this FedEx 767 once he starts taxiing again. We'll get you a view of some of the departures. Oh, some fun facts for you guys while we zoom in here. You can see this Embraer 175. You see those blue lights on the edge of the taxiways? Well, if you're ever at an airport and you see those blue lights are what indicate the edge of the taxiways. So there's some information that you can outsmart your buddy with. Hey, you don't know what those blue lights are? Well, there are the blue lights on the edges of the taxiway. So whenever you're taxiing at night, those let you know that you are reaching the edge of the taxiway. You can see in the bottom right of your screen, you see this sign here that says 10 center dash 28 center and a Z. Well, the Z stands for Zulu, and that sign is telling you that you are on taxiway Zulu and you are just before runways 10 center, and it shows 10 center first since you're on that side of the runway, 28 center. S.A. Ferguson asking, what is the largest plane flying in and out of O'Hare? Well, right now it would be the 747-8, but historically, O'Hare has received the Antonov 124, which is just slightly larger than the 747, and of course the Airbus A380. In 2016, I want to say 2016, Emirates flew the Airbus A380 to O'Hare for the first time an A380 had ever landed here. Excuse me. In 2005, Airbus flew their Airbus A380, showing people what it was really like, and also testing the airport out for future A380 use. So that was in 2005, and then in 2016, Emirates had the first revenue flight to O'Hare, but with some situation issue that Emirates had with ground crew, they've yet to send the Airbus A380 here to O'Hare since then. But there was actually a diversion that O'Hare plane spotter caught early last year that was quite a treat for people. But British Airways had regular service from 2018 through 2020 with the pandemic, of course, and brought it back in 2022, and unfortunately the demand is just not quite there to fill an A380, especially coming from London. So they have 777s daily, 3 777s. We'll listen to these CF6 engines, and then I'll answer a couple more questions from you guys. thank you so much for your super chat, and thank you for supporting XLRS. We truly appreciate each and every person that comes on, likes the video, possibly subscribes, and a super chat is just a bonus. So thank you so much for your support. We really do appreciate it. Lefty Queen saying, I wish the Kings would come back to ORD with that backdrop. It would be epic. Yeah, it really would be. We've been blessed to catch the A380 in all different conditions, and during daytime and nighttime. And yeah, it is incredible to see, especially with the backdrop. And S.A. Ferguson saying, I'm amazed. Is it like this 24/7? It's probably more like it is now, where there's not necessarily as much action. I mean, O'Hare is one of those airports, if you go to Europe, you know, there's a certain time of night where aircraft are no longer allowed to land or take off. It's a noise abatement period where between usually 10:30, 10:45 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. no aircraft are allowed to arrive or depart. But O'Hare, I mean, they don't really have much of a rule against that. They'll have passenger service flights, revenue flights, departing at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. all the way throughout the night. So it does get obviously some quiet times between maybe 1 and 3 a.m., but otherwise it is pretty busy just about 24 hours a day. So you can see with this shot, S.A. Ferguson complimenting the city views in the background. Yeah, they are beautiful. The city view, obviously, that you are seeing here, this is downtown Chicago, with a population of now over 3 million people within the city itself, and Chicagoland area being home to over 9 million people. It's the third largest city in the country from recent census data. And a fun fact about it is the birthplace of the refrigerated rail car, mail order retailing, and the car radio from Motorola. So some interesting companies. Obviously, you can see on the right side there the Sears Tower. That is where mail order retailing by Sears and Montgomery Ward was started, and that was here in Chicago, in the Sears, now Willis Tower. It's also the birthplace of gospel, electric blues, house, juke, footwork, and drill, different types of music. There are a lot of different facts about Chicago, you know. Many parts of it survived the Chicago fire after 1879. However, you can still go downtown and see a church that survived it and is still looking great to this day after over 100 years of being built. Having a look in, you can see a United CRJ 700 operated by GoJet lining up for 10 left. This aircraft will be departing on its way to Tulsa, Oklahoma, headed over to Red River Aviation. And we have American Airlines flight 550, a 737-800 headed to Dallas. That is our second departure. Also, a fun fact, though, we were talking about Iceland Air. We just saw their 767 depart a few moments ago. They had a 737 arrive recently after 6 hours and 14 minutes. So, answering the question about if 767s serve O'Hare, yes, they do, in addition to the 737s. We're going to come over to an arrival on 9 Center. This Delta Airlines flight 1139, a 757-200, coming in from Atlanta, the world's busiest airport. Kind of interesting if we come back over to this aircraft, wondering what exactly it's been doing there. Let's get some information on that aircraft. Wow, that aircraft arrived now 55 minutes ago from Orlando. Flight time of 2 hours and 10 minutes. Now been on the ground for 53 minutes. The 737 MAX 8. Looks like its gate is Kilo 4, but very likely that gate is not open yet, so it cannot occupy it. Our next heavy departure will be Royal Jordanian Flight 264, a 787-8, headed to Amman, Jordan. Distance of 6,236 miles.